Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. Today, I'm going to tell you why the market is confused about Bitcoin and why Bitcoin is going to $1 million, probably soon within the next couple of years. The interesting thing about this is that the market has been confused about Bitcoin before in exactly the same way. So we have a model, a template to understand what is happening right now. Let's take a look. So Twitter is all abuzz that, oh my gosh, Bitcoin and the Nasdaq are correlated. Stocks, traditional assets, they're so correlated. Oh no, the sky's falling. What are we ever going to do? And it actually is true right now. As you can see in this chart, present day moment since this is the beginning of the year right here, this line, since December, November, Bitcoin and the Nasdaq, which is the tech stock index in the United States, have absolutely been correlated. And, we're kind of going into a recessionary period, so people are scared about this correlation. However, let's take a look at this. I charted it myself, and in fact, it is correct. You can see here that the orange line is Bitcoin, and the line with candles, red and green candles, is the Nasdaq. But look at what happens. If we start to zoom out just a little bit, we see that actually they are not correlated, and that Bitcoin absolutely destroys the performance of the Nasdaq. But let me show you something fascinating that you might not have seen before. If we go back to times of trouble, times of economic stress, let's just go back here to when the panorama started. I use code word for the panorama, the sickness that everybody had because I don't want to get in trouble. Look at what happened during the crash of March, April 2020. Do you guys see this? It is so interesting. During this time leading up to a weaker period after a long run when there were big fears in the world and the panorama was happening, the sickness, the virus, whatever, they became correlated again. So this has happened before, guys, when there's times of trouble. Look, the Nasdaq and Bitcoin, they look exactly the same. Literally follow this with me. There's the huge crash, there's the recovery, everything is basically the same. It's correlated. And guess what? Here we are again in spring 2022. There's risk of recession. There's talk of recession. There's QT. There's the Fed tightening. There's a war in the world. There's inflation. There's all the same kind of stuff and fear. That's why I say that the market is not judging Bitcoin correctly right now. We're in one of those freaky periods where the market just thinks that Bitcoin is like a traditional asset and they don't get that it is really a hedge against inflation. So when I say that Bitcoin is going to $1 million soon, here's a change in your thinking that I want you to make. A lot of people say, you can't go to $1 million, Brian, that's so much money. But remember, that money over time inflates and you get inflation, and it's actually less and less money as we go on. So it is going to $1 million, and it just might be a matter of time. Now, how long will it take, do you ask? Good question. Glad you asked, because I have some data for you on that as well. Before we get to that data, while I have this chart pulled up, I just want to do one more thing with this chart. You say, well, that was a one-time thing, Brian, when Bitcoin detached and wasn't correlated. Well, no, look, now we're back. Remember, we're back in the panorama recession area. I don't know why I keep getting all these pop-ups because I already paid for the stupid thing. But anyway, if we zoom out again, look at what we see. The same thing, that Bitcoin is not correlated with the Nasdaq. You guys, look at it. This is going all the way back to 2019. If you zoom in, you find this high correlation, but if you zoom out, the correlation goes away. That means that we need to be zooming out in our brains, but it's going to take some time. I'm going to show you guys a couple things that are a little bit counterintuitive, okay, right? Like, this is going to be like a little weird. You guys are going to be like, oh, I'm not really used to that. DXY is the number that we want to go down if Bitcoin is going to go up. DXY is how strong the US dollar is against other baskets of currencies, right? So if the US dollar gets really, really weak against all the other currencies of the world, that means that more US dollars are going to be needed to buy one Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is going to be worth more, and we're all going to make money and get rich and go to the moon, right? In times of recession, as Caleb Franzen says here, don't fight the Fed, DXY actually goes up. What? It goes up? Yes, it does. And that will signal a weakening Bitcoin price in US dollars, at least for a while. I know this is totally counterintuitive because we're all thinking that, like what I just showed you guys, right? That Bitcoin's going to go to the moon. But there is a line in one of my favorite movies. Have you guys ever seen Gladiator, the movie with Russell Crowe? And at the end of the movie, he says, "I will see them again, but not yet. Not yet." How's my Gladiator impression, guys? I will see them again, but not yet. Not yet. That's what I think about the DXY right now. The DXY will drop because of all the money that was printed, but not yet, not yet. And so this is why there are those two reasons why the market is kind of confused and why Bitcoin is going to be flat or go down for a while. Number one, in times of war, trouble, recession, all that stuff I already showed you, the Bitcoin loses, people lose their mind and they start treating Bitcoin like a traditional asset and they trade it like stocks. It makes no sense, but you're going to have to be patient because it's going to happen for a while. And number two, because in times of the Fed tightening, as Caleb says here, DXY, which is the strength of the dollar, actually is going to go up for a while, which is going to make Bitcoin worth less. That's the first reason that Bitcoin is going to be in a headwind for a while. And the second reason I like to point this out, and this is from Crypto Poseidon on Twitter, is that right now we are in a greatly decreasing volume era. I hope you can see this. It might be a little bit behind my webcam here, but what this is showing is that in the beginning of the bull run, late 2020, early 2021, we had these huge green volume bars, which basically means the market is strong. Yay, everybody buy Bitcoin. Yay, tell your grandma, tell your coworker, tell your boss, everybody buy Bitcoin. But after we had that first peak, and I've been telling you guys this, that this was really the top of the bull run here in May 2021 with the Elon Musk stuff and Dogecoin and everything like that. And then since then, we've kind of been in this dwindling bear market. Now, how do I know that? I know that because, let me see if I can just zoom this in and get this over to the other side of the screen so you guys can see it better. I know that because we have had this decreasing volume here. Can you guys see this? This decreasing volume since this last big sell-off. So this was the sell-off in summer of last year, summer of 2021, this big, huge capitulation candle. And since then, our volume has not recovered. That means that every time we've gone back into a bull market phase in late 2021, we haven't seen the interest, the mainstream interest, and we're just still in this sort of sell-off period. And I think this, when we broke all-time highs in fall of 2021, it was kind of like a melt-up. It wasn't really a real bull market, if you will. So all that to say, it's basically, I'm just trying to give you guys a deeper understanding of what's happening in the market structure now. And all of that to say, don't lose your faith and your hope in crypto, because what's happening now is there are a couple of weird things that are making Bitcoin not perform normally, right? There's a few, it's like a perfect storm of conditions where Bitcoin is being treated like a traditional equity and where the DXY is strong because of Fed tightening. And so the dollar is being overvalued, even though there's like tons of inflation. They're printing money like crazy. So there's all this like weird stuff going on right now, but don't lose your faith because we are still on that upward trajectory. It only makes sense, guys, because of inflation and the limited supply of Bitcoin. Just remember that. Like, this is, for me personally, this is what makes me feel comfortable to continue to dollar cost average my personal funds into Bitcoin, because if you zoom out, you see that right now we're in just one of these weird bearish scenarios that doesn't normally apply, and it won't last forever. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And if you subscribe, then I will get to see you in the next video. Take care.